In the previous lecture, we have discussed two important properties of the brackets and brackets. Now we will discuss its remaining properties. So the next important property of the linear vector algebra, or you may say the Dirac's algebra, is a very important inequality that is called Schwarz inequality. So first of all, we will discuss Schwarz inequality. This is in fact the third property, as I have discussed two properties in previous lecture. So the third property is Schwarz inequality. Schwarz inequality. First of all, we have to know what is this inequality, and after that we will prove this inequality. In fact, Schwarz inequality states that if psi and phi are two eigenvectors in Hilbert space, let us say Kate psi, this is Kate psi and Kate phi are the two eigenvectors of Hilbert space. Then Schwarz inequality states that mod of, or you may say norm of, bra psi Kate phi square is less or equal to a scalar product of psi with psi and its product with a scalar product of phi and phi. In fact, this result is known as Schwarz inequality. This is Schwarz inequality. First of all, we will prove this inequality. So let us see its proof. We know that the linear combination of two states vector of a Hilbert space is another vector of that space. So we may consider a vector, let chi is a vector which is equal to psi plus lambda phi. We assume it. In this expression, lambda is an undetermined parameter which may be real or complex. Lambda real or complex parameter, and it is unknown. We will determine its value. See how we will determine its value. First of all, we have to see this. Now let us consider, we find the scalar product of chi with chi. that is, we find the square of its norm. So now we may write product of chi with chi. What will be this? As we have defined this chi as psi plus lambda phi, so this will be psi plus lambda phi and psi plus lambda phi. And as we know, the norm of a vector is always real and non-negative. So this will be definitely greater or equal to 0. This will be definitely greater or equal to 0. Now see this product chi with chi equal to. Now find out this product. As in the previous lecture we have studied the properties of a scalar product. Using that idea you can find this product. You will write it what? This will be a scalar product of psi with psi, see here, psi with psi plus lambda product of psi with phi plus lambda star product of phi with psi plus lambda star product of phi with phi, and this is greater or equal to 0. Say it is equation 1. Actually, the best inequality is obtained when lambda is chosen so as to minimize the LHS. So if the LHS is at its minimum value, in that condition, in what will be the result? We apply the condition of minima by taking the derivative of this with respect to either lambda or lambda star equal to 0. So for LHS to be minimum, why we take the minimum LHS? Because to find the inequality, or you may say the best inequality exists when this LHS will be minimum. So in this condition, what will be the result? We will have del lambda product of chi with chi equal to 0, or del lambda star product of chi with chi equal to 0. Now consider this result. Now we put the value of this product and simplify it. So del lambda star, and this is what? This product is defined in equation 1. So substitute its value from equation 1. And this is, see the equation 1. This is product of psi with psi plus lambda product of psi with phi plus lambda star product of phi with psi plus lambda star product of phi with phi, and this equal to 0. Now simplify it. See here, in first term lambda star does not exist, so its derivative with lambda star will be 0. In second term, again lambda star does not exist, so the derivative of second term will be also 0. And in the third term, del lambda star by del lambda star will be 1, and so the derivative will be product of phi and psi. And in the last term, when we will differentiate the last term with respect to lambda star, what will be the result? This will be lambda product of phi with phi, and this will be equal to 0. So from here we can find the value of lambda. What will be it? This is simply minus product of phi with psi over product of phi with phi. Say it is equation 2. See, this is the value of lambda, which was an undetermined parameter. Now we have determined it. Now this value of lambda will be substituted in equation 1. So we use equation 2 in equation 1. What will be our result? See this equation 1 seriously. We have to put at the place of lambda in second term and in the last term this value. And what will be our result? Let us see. So from 1 and 2, what will be our result? The result will be product of psi with psi plus lambda star product of phi with psi minus product of phi and psi over product of phi and phi into product of psi and phi plus lambda star times minus product of phi and psi over product of phi and phi into product of phi and phi, and this will be greater or equal to 0. We have simply substituted the value of lambda in equation 1 from equation 2. Now see here, we will simplify this result, and what you will get? You will get, see the last term first of all, this product in denominator and in numerator will cancel out, and so our result will be what? This will be product of psi with psi plus lambda star product of phi with psi minus product of phi with psi times product of psi with phi over product of phi with phi, and minus, see here, this will be cancel out, and so the result will be lambda star lambda star product of phi with psi. Now see, the second term and the first term will cancel out, and in fact this is greater or equal to 0. So what we get? We get product of psi with psi and minus product of phi with psi times product of psi with phi over product of phi with phi. This is greater or equal to 0. Now take the LCM, you will get this is product of psi with psi times product of phi with phi minus product of phi with psi times product of psi with phi. This is greater or equal to 0. And so you may write that this product of psi with psi times product of phi with phi is greater or equal to now we take this in RHS. This is greater or equal to product of phi with psi times product of psi with phi. Now see this term or this product of psi with phi. When we will exchange the order of the vectors, this product will be equal to complex conjugate of it. So what we can write it? We can write it as product of psi with psi times product of phi with phi. This is greater or equal to what? This is greater or equal to product of psi with phi star times product of psi with phi, and therefore product of psi with psi times product of phi with phi is greater or equal to, see this, this is what? This is in fact mod of product of psi with phi square, or we may write it as mod product of psi with phi square is less or equal to product of psi with psi times product of phi with phi, and this is Schwarz inequality. As you have seen above, this is Schwarz inequality. So this Schwarz equality has been proved. You may write this inequality in terms of integration. This is Schwarz inequality or this is Schwarz inequality. These are the two forms. So in integral form we can write it too. But first of all, we see here that if the two state vectors psi and phi are linearly dependent, if ket psi and Ket phi are linearly dependent. When you say these vectors are linearly dependent, what does it mean? It means the two vectors are proportional to each other. That is, you may say that Ket psi is proportional to Ket phi, or we may write Ket psi is equal to alpha Ket phi, where alpha is the proportionality constant or proportionality scalar, which is real and positive, which may be real and positive. So this alpha is a proportionality constant. Now, if this proportionality constant alpha is real and positive, then the inequality becomes equality. Then the inequality becomes equality. So for equality, the two state vectors must be linearly dependent, that is proportional of one another, and in that condition this inequality will become equality. Actually, in Euclidean space there is an equivalent expression of Schwarz inequality. So in analogous to Schwarz inequality in Euclidean space, we have a result which may be written like this. So equivalent to this inequality, in Euclidean space, we have a result mod of a dot b square is less or equal to mod of a square times mod of b square. Mod of a square, you may write it as a dot a, and b mod of b square, you may write it b dot b. The next important inequality is triangle inequality. So the next important property, you may say triangle inequality. Triangle inequality. Let us consider again, like above, that Ket psi and Ket phi, these are two state vectors or eigenvectors of the Hilbert space. State vectors of Hilbert space H. In this condition, an equality which is called triangle inequality exists. We may write it as this inequality states that product of psi plus phi with psi plus phi whole to the power half, that is square root of this product. This is less or equal to a square root of product of psi and psi plus a square root of product of phi and phi. This inequality is known as triangle inequality. In this case, too, just like Schwarz inequality, if the state vectors ket psi and ket phi are linearly dependent, if ket psi and ket phi are linearly dependent, then you may write ket psi equal to alpha ket phi as we have written above. And here again, if this alpha is real and positive, if alpha is real and positive, then this inequality becomes equality. Then equality holds. Equality holds. Again, we will see that in Euclidean space there is an equivalent or analogous inequality, and that inequality of Euclidean space is also known as triangle inequality, and that is expressed as in Euclidean space. In Euclidean space, what is the analogous inequality? That is in fact mod of a plus b is less or equal to mod of a plus mod of b.